You clicked on this video because you want to know why you attract men who reject you. This is really common and comes to the practice all the time. In fact, I would hazard to say that nearly every call I've had in the last decade and nearly 80%, 90% of the women that I have coached had this problem, that we hardly find it easy to find a man we're attracted to. A lot of women have options, but the options a lot of women have, 95% of them we don't want. So you finally find this guy after a while. Maybe you've been single a while, or maybe you've been dating a while, and finally you meet this guy and you're like, he's the one. this is my next, this is my husband, this is the man of my dreams. Finally I am in this interaction. It feels good, it feels right, it's amazing. I have him, and inevitably at some point you're gonna lose him. You kind of already know it. You're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're really in this place where you're like, why don't I keep the man that I attract? Your phone is still buzzing with men you're not interested in. Your phone is still going off, or still go to work and men are checking you out, but you're completely oblivious to them because the one guy that you like out of a million just doesn't seem to be choosing you, just doesn't want you. So what is actually going on there? You will always hear me say things like, the wounds are calling in the men that are in your life right now. This is about frequency and vibrations. When we are wounded, and we have a wound, a neglect wound, an abandonment wound, a rejection wound, many of us carry these wounds because we were not raised by perfect people in a perfect world where everybody doesn't say the right things. And we were raised by people who had their own wounds, and they pass those wounds on in different ways, the way of our upbringing, or we just pick it up and we catch it, and we feel about ourselves the way our mothers felt about themselves, the way that our world feels about itself, and we carry these wounds, and they call in people who want to love us, who want to choose us, who want to heal and bring balance to that wound. And one thing happens with that group of people, because we attract different groups of people, but we're going to talk about two groups of people. We attract a group of people who want to be all of that to us. But then because we have a rejection narrative, an abandonment wound, because we have a belief system that we're not worthy, that we're not good enough, that we're not enough, that we don't matter, we are going to inadvertently allow them into our lives because of course we want that high value quality man. But then we're going to go into sabotage very quickly. But the problem is our sabotage processes are completely oblivious to us. We are zero aware that we're actually doing it because it's so part of our subconscious, so part of our system. It's like driving a car, not quite knowing. If you're a driver, you will know what I mean. Sometimes you get in your car and you drive, the music is good, you're in your head, you're driving safely, making sure you're driving safely, you get to your destination and you don't actually remember how you got from where you are to your destination because it's so become part of your body. Your body knows how to drive, it knows what to look for. It's almost become this subconscious protocol. And when we're sabotaging relationships, it's very subconscious because we think what's going on consciously with us is actually what's going on in the relationship. It's actually how we are being experienced, but we're actually being experienced very differently from what we are consciously thinking we experience. We're being experienced to the degree of how healed we are. We're being experienced to the degree of the energy of our wounds. Every wound has an energy, has a vibration, and it doesn't matter how you dress it up and how many femininity classes and how many dresses you wear and how softly you speak. Your wounds, your power, your energy, your healing will speak for you in an energy that other people experience. I don't know if you've ever met somebody that you feel like they're really kind, but you can't connect with them. They're in every way, they smile, they have all the social graces, but you just feel like, I have to be careful how I speak to them because being around them, you're not sure what will offend them or not. They're a little bit prickly. You just don't know. Something is getting in the way of the connection. Consciously, they're thinking, I smiled, I came into the room, I was nice to everybody, but your energy, your spirit has already picked up there's something going on with this person, and that's something going on, that's the wound. And so what happens is when we are dating, and this goes both ways, but we're talking to girls about men. So when a man comes into your world, the one thing a man wants is to feel safe. But safety for him feels like freedom to be who he is. Safety for him feels like not being rushed into a relationship. Safety for him feels like his ability to lead. But when you have a wound, where you feel unworthy, where you've been neglected, where you have belief systems that are crafted around that wound, that are mainly unconscious, you are going to violate his safety. He's not going to feel safe around you because the moment he decides to spend time with you and talk to you and get to know you, guess what you're going to do? You are going to begin to pursue. Whether it's in asking him out, which is on the overt side of things, or just really waiting for him to call you. When is he going to call, checking your phone, and wrapping your energy around him, putting him in the center of your being, constantly being thinking of him, and he will feel, she likes me, but she doesn't know me. She likes me already, but she doesn't know me. I was talking to a client just before I came online to do this video, and she said to me, Chengi, I met the man of my dreams. And I said to her, no, you have not. Right? And we had a bit of a giggle, and it was a laugh, and I let her tell me, and he was in every way what is dreamy for her. Everything she wants on paper. And she said we had a wonderful connection. It was fantastic. The way, the serendipity of the whole meeting was just so amazing. And she said, but he hasn't called me. And I was like, exactly, precisely. The wound that you haven't healed, the way that you think made you think he's the man of my dreams. You have not even verified him. But when you have a wound of neglect, when you feel unworthy, the first thing you seek to do is attach. So before you got to know this guy, you have no idea who he is. You sat with him once, you got to know him. He's already felt that energy. He's already feeling the weight of how you feel. And even if you are sitting at home doing, I'm not going to call, you're in his orbit. Your mind is on him, and that energy doesn't lie. And the first thing he's going to do is create space, because he's going to try and check and see, how do you handle space? Are you now going to decide, oh, because he ticks these boxes, I am now going to position myself and angle myself and reach out and feel, or am I going to just continue dating? Am I going to continue doing this? And this is so difficult for us as women. When we meet that guy that we like, it's so difficult for us to not go into the little girl in us who always had to attach quickly, or she would lose what she felt was connection. You know, I dated and still do, the men that I date are high caliber men. They're great guys, even if, and I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about just being a really valuable, great guy. And before I healed my wound, I really had a deep sense of unworthiness. I always felt like I was a burden on a man, on people, on everybody. I was always this burden. And that went back to my childhood, being raised in a family of 7, having cousins live with us and people live with us and mentally ill people. My mom was like a charity. If you were broken, you came to our house. If things were not right, you just dumped them in my mom's house. And so it was easy for me to feel neglected. It was easy for me to feel unseen. It was also easy for me to feel like one of the many burdens my mom had to take care of. And so I grew up with this wound and this belief system that I was a burden. And so I would meet men who wanted to spoil me rotten, who wanted to give me the world, and I would either reject them and lose attraction for them. Because why? Because I didn't know how to be in a relationship where I wasn't trying to prove I wasn't a burden. I didn't know how to even belong to my family and not feel like I was a burden. I didn't know how to be a friend and not feel like I was a burden. So how I corrected that was I would come into your life and show my value straight away. Right away, I would come into your life, and then I would demonstrate to you that I'm so valuable, that I'm so kind, that I'm so sweet, that I can do that for you. I can do that for you. I can show you. I can build you. I can help you. And so that is the energy that I would walk into every room, and I would work so hard until in my mind, and I've made sure that my absence will be felt. If I don't show up, things will fall apart, because I would go in, whether it's my church community or friendships, I will enter your life and exponentially make it so much better, to the point where you need me, so that when you eventually discover that I'm a burden, you will be happy to carry this burden, because she is valuable. She is useful. She does what nobody else will or can do. So we will hold on to our burden. And so I translated that. And these are things people applaud you for. A lot of the things that hurt us and destroy us are things that many people applaud for. Who doesn't want that employee that will run the whole place? One woman doing 20 people's job. Who doesn't want that friend that can solve all their problems? Who doesn't want that girlfriend who just knows how to get it together and put it all together? Who doesn't want that? We all want that. And so I got a lot of praise for it, a lot of meaning and value from it, and I created an identity around all of it. And so when I would meet men who didn't need me to do anything for them, men who didn't see a woman at all, regardless, as a burden, because they had the resources, the time, the emotional acuity to truly be a man in a woman's life, I would just find myself severely not attracted to these men, because I felt like I wasn't aware. But as I look back as a healed woman, I would look at these men and think, you are only going to reject me because all I can bring to you is burdensome. All I can do is bring you this single mom who is broken, and the reasons why I was a burden would change, but the core wound is something I entered the world. I grew up feeling that way, and so I would always reflect on myself that way. And so what I would do is, if a guy came and he wanted to spoil me, I would go into overperformance. I would want to show him, I don't need anything from you but to be chosen. I don't need anything from you. Yeah, you can pay for my dates because I'm too girly to pay for my own dates, but everything else, I'm going to take care of the emotion of this relationship. I'm going to take care of the pace of this relationship, and then I'm going to make myself so easy to love. I'm going to make sure that I'm perfect, I'm sexy, I have this flat tummy, I'm just everything. I'm so dreamy, to the point where I became almost too perfect that a man didn't feel like he had anything to actually offer me. And so I would find myself being dumped in the way men dump women, disappearing, hot and cold, all of the things, because he just didn't feel there was any place for him. There was no place. I left no space for him to be a man, to regulate, to be in my life, to serve me, to give to me, to honor me, to take care of me. I would be a struggling single mom dating millionaire men and have a hard time receiving anything from them. I didn't want them to think that I wanted them for their money, and I was going to prove to them that I'm hard work. I was just on this thing, and I was oblivious to it. I had no idea, zero idea that I was doing it, because the wounds will always speak louder than the desire, than the what you want. I want a man who's going to provide, protect, and cherish. But that wound is going to stand in the way and say, no, we can't have that, because if we have any other reality that is opposition to the reality that we know, we are not going to be safe, and we need to stay safe. And this is why I hop on and on and on and on and on throughout all of my years of being a coach and all the 6,000 women plus that I have served, that we cannot seek to truly attract love until we have healed our heart, because our heart will choose for us. Our subconscious mind is patterned for the wounds, to protect that wound, to keep it going, because at least we understand that we are and you're not always going to know your subconscious thoughts or unconscious beliefs about yourself, but you will see them in perpetually being rejected by the people that you like, the men that you're attracted to, the men that you actually want to keep rejecting you, not because there's anything fundamentally wrong with you other than that the wounds that you got from your upbringing, the stories you told yourself, about love, and how you get to access it, are showing up, especially when you do like that person, especially when you are interested in that person. Those wounds are the first to speak, because the signal of danger, the signal that there could be something different and unfamiliar happening, sends your nervous system into overdrive. And so that's why we find when you like him, he goes off running. When you don't like him, he's here to stay. Why? Because he's familiar. Batch number 2, your wounds will attract and choose men that are familiar, men that will be a burden to you, men who will thrive and feed off your wound. Because guess what? These men are broken. These men have nothing to offer. So they're going to be so deeply attracted to the woman in you that wants to serve them, that wants to show up, that wants to deliver. And guess what? And I know this is true, if you observe yourself, even that guy that you kind of had to settle for, you don't really like him, you still go into overdrive, you still give in service, you still do too much, you still show up as, oh, I'm perfect, I can do this. You know, I've dated guys that I was like, oh, I guess it's all right, it's nice enough, and I still overperformed. And guess what? That was a different result. They didn't leave me, they drained me. They drained the life out of me, and they abused and they took advantage of the wound, because they were thirsty vampires. Same thing with friendships, girlfriends. I realized that I was attracting 2 types of girlfriends. The girls I really wanted to be friends with, I was too much. The girls that I did not want to be friends with, they wouldn't leave me alone. Why? Because our wounds attract the people in our lives. And I'm going to go a little bit further and say our wounds also determine the work we do. It is of no surprise, as my therapist said to me, that I am here to help people heal their wounds. Why? Because over-serving and over-giving is my thing. Right? But God will find purpose for your pain. He will find purpose for your wiring. So yes, my trauma gave me a gift I can share with the world, helping women heal their hearts so they can create their true love story. I'm so grateful, because it took me being broken, but I have also realized that I had to heal that wound. And so it took a while. It took a while to get to a point in my life where I recognized that I had to be selective of the people that I called friends. I had to be selective about the people that I chose. And a lot of people were hurt in the making of this woman, because I started to become so aware as I healed this wound, as I began to understand, oh, that's the program running in the background. I'm going to start to unblock it and start to add a different code. I'm going to recode my mind and my heart. And so it started with small things. I will serve any broken heart that comes to me, because that is my assignment. It's very much the assignment of Christ. I've come to heal the brokenhearted. He's not here physically, but his spirit is here with us. And so I know that my assignment is to heal the brokenhearted, men and women. I am here to heal the brokenhearted, and I have the anointing, the grace, the favor, the wisdom to do just that, and to help them create a new love story. But I can only do that with people who are not close to me. So I will help, obviously, my niece, the people who are family, who are never going to go anywhere. Of course, I will serve them in that way. But if you are going to be my friend, and especially if you are going to be my partner, you have to be the person that doesn't come because you're broken. You have to be the person that comes because you want somebody to love. You are so full of love. If you're going to be a friend of mine, a partner in my life, you are here because you are seeking someone to love, not somebody to use, not somebody to heal your wounds, not somebody, because that will naturally happen because I'm a healing soul. So that will naturally happen. But you came because you were looking for somebody to love, somebody to spend time with, somebody to invest in. That allowed me to actually be receptive to men who did want to take care of me, to lean back and let them take care of me. Let them. And it's so weird because I don't need the taking care of that I needed when I was a single mom struggling. But now I just learned to receive it, because I understand that anything that pushes back and wants to perform, and catching yourself. Can you catch yourself when you're about to perform? Can you catch yourself before you do it? And sometimes I have to be like, Chengi, you're doing that thing again. You're doing that over delivering thing again. You're not here to deliver, you are here to receive. And from what you receive, you will bear fruit. And from that fruit, your partner, your friends, the people closest to you can feed off, can eat, because fruit on the tree is not for the tree, it's for everybody else. So I have learned that the key to what I needed to do was learn to receive, because receiving is a skill. Receiving is a fight. When you have a wound that finds it hard to receive. And I'm going to say this to those of you who are like, I get money and I get things. If you're a taker, you are wounded. The feminine does not take from the man. The feminine does not take from its environment. It receives. Because everything that you are receiving is being given to you by joy and love. So I always say the feminine is like a tree. The tree does not take from the soil or take from the air or take from the sun. The tree receives what is being given abundantly and generously. The tree does not feel it needs to perform in order to receive. The tree just is. The tree exists, and because of how it is made, it just receives. And when it has received enough, consistently, over time, it becomes strong. Flowers come out at springtime, and those flowers become fruit, and people can eat and live in abundance. The fruit that I have, the abundance of fruit that I have, that is for the nations of the world. That is for you, darlings, watching me today. That is for you who are in the House of Swans. That is for you who are in my group communities or one-to-one coaching with myself or my coaches. But in my personal relationships, I had to learn that if he needs me to survive, if he's brokenhearted and he needs me to survive, he can become a client, he can become a friend, but he cannot be a partner of mine. He cannot be a romantic partner. I will not allow him to pursue a romantic partnership with me to the point that I see that the man is broken. And I used to be able to see it, that, oh my gosh, this man is broken, because I have a very strong spirit of discernment, and I'm very capable of looking into person's soul. And I would get turned on by that. It was like, yay, I can heal him. My love will heal him. My performance will heal him. I'm going to heal him. And no, he just broke me. And so I've learned that if you are broken, you can become a client. We can be clear that you are going to become a client, or we're going to have a friendship, but you won't ever have that access and that close proximity to me. Because when you heal, when you truly heal, you will understand that your soul needs to feed, that your heart needs to be nurtured. And it's such a wonderful thing. So if you're finding, and what happens for me is, now I get to keep the men I'm attracted to. Now I get to keep the men I want long enough to decide if I want them long term. Now I get to be in a place where I can keep that love. And you can be that too. You can be that, along with my many clients who have been that, who have taken this journey to become that. That is through my Soulmate Attraction System course, where we take you through a journey that brings the transformation for you that will make you the woman who never ever has to chase love, but to attract it. But I'm going to say this to you before I end this wonderful video that I hope has been useful to you. We all pay the piper. We will pay him now in full. or will pay him later with interest. The wounds that you don't want to heal, the wounds that are too expensive to heal. You would rather go on holiday, buy those shoes before you invest in your own healing. You're gonna have to pay for them. You're gonna have to pay them either in a toxic marriage. You're gonna have to pay for them either in a bad relationship. You're gonna have to pay for them when you've loved so hard, because our wounds will perpetually create the pain that we're trying to avoid. So if you're finding yourself in a position right now where you're like, you know what, I'm ready. I don't want the new year to come in and I'm still this girl, still dealing with men I don't want, or chasing after and feeling abandoned by the men that I do want. I want to invite you to take this journey, and I'm so excited to have you. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. In the meantime, do take care. I love you. Love you lots. Bye. Hey beautiful, thanks for watching. If you are looking to attract or deepen the kind of love that feels safe and lasting, click the first link in the description. It's a 30-day challenge to reset your love life.